Hello and welcome to another episode of Marriage on a Tightrope. I'm Alan.
And I'm Katie, and we're still married.
We have a very special guest with us today, and I'm jumping the gun to introduce him because it's kind of an exciting one, very unique. Before we do, we have a few announcements. There is an event that we are going to be attending on May 18th, 2019. That's just next week at 6 o'clock. At Thanksgiving Point. It's called Saturday Salon. It's one of our listeners, we talked about it on our last episode, has put together this event where periodically, twice a month or so, but this is the first one, so we're excited to see how it goes. There will be a featured speaker to talk about some gospel-related topic, and this time it's going to be Margaret Toscano, who will be presenting an essay she wrote on the role of women and the history of the role of women in the temple. Last episode, which came out just a few days prior to this one, we hadn't received the essay yet. Just to review it, we want to make sure everyone's comfortable with the subject matter at hand, but we did receive it last night, and Katie, you read some of it?
Yeah, I did, and I will be attending. I think it's something that's super interesting. She talks about the role of women in priesthood and temples, and really a lot of historical and really interesting information. I think it'll be great. I liked what I read and the subject matter. For those listeners who are sensitive to like wording in the temple, that will be discussed. So if that's something that bothers you or would make you uncomfortable, I probably wouldn't recommend it for you. For the rest of us, I really feel like it's going to be just an interesting scholarly view and opinions about women's roles in the temple. So I'm excited to go to it.
Cool. Can I go with you?
Sure.
Oh,
especially because there's going to be food, which...
Yes.
How awesome is that? I mean, they put this together.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't tell you this. I was talking about... Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah.
I was talking to the guy who put it all together, and he said, like, for his business, they've reserved this room beforehand, and with the reservation comes $600 worth of catering for $200. So they've got a lot of really nice catered food for $200 for all of us. And it's free for everybody that wants to be there. You can go to SaturdaySalon.org for all the specifics. But again, it is on May 18th at 6 p.m. at Thanksgiving Point.
It'll be great. If you could come, we'd love to meet you.
All right, let's get to the topic at hand. Today we have our most special guest ever on the podcast. Sorry, Gina Colvin. Sorry, Matt and Trisha Harward.
Sorry, everyone
Chelsea
we've ever
we are
had on.
We are a little bit biased on this one because joining us today is our oldest son, Jackson. Say hi, Jackson.
Hello.
Why don't you sit a little closer so the microphone
Hello.
There you go.
There
you go. We just decided 5 minutes ago to do an episode with Jackson.
Yeah, we did. We wanted to ask him some questions, and to give you a little bit of a background story. The other night we had family home evening, and I don't know, Jackson, if you remember this, but one of the things I said during family home evening, out of the blue, without Alan's knowledge, I said to the kids, "Hey guys, do you know that Dad and I record a podcast?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "You know how you meet a lot of strangers?"
we have people
constantly coming to our house for dinner. We constantly, Jackson he's one of our babysitters when we go out with couples. So I wanted to sort of talk about that. So let's recreate that, Jackson.
Yes.
So, okay, what do you know about what we do?
What is this podcast all about?
What is the podcast about?
It's about a mixed marriage.
A mix.
Yeah. That's what I learned.
What do we talk about on the podcast?
On the podcast, you talk about you talk about like how it is to be like how it feels to be like a mixed marriage and like how you can help other people and stuff like that.
That's a good answer.
That's a good answer.
Have you been able to meet a lot of people like through our podcast?
I think you have, but you may not even know it.
Yeah.
We went over to a friend's house just a couple nights ago.
Oh, that was them?
Yeah.
On Monday or Tuesday?
On Tuesday, I think it was. And yeah, we met them through this podcast. They reached out to us because they listened to the podcast.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so from your point of view, Jackson, where do you think mom and dad are at?
Now,
Like,
what does
what
mixed
does it
marriage
mixed marriage mean?
I think it means that each person has a different like religion or something, like or
Beliefs.
beliefs. Yeah, like different beliefs.
Okay.
Okay, so what is it that mom believes and what is it that dad believes?
So I think what you believe, Mom, is like, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Mm-hmm. And Dad, what I think you believe in is like, I don't really know. I think it's some of that,
Yeah.
and then something else.
It's kind of a mystery of what Dad believes, right?
Does dad know what dad believes?
I think a big part of it is I don't know, and that's all right. What do you believe, Jackson?
I don't know. I'm with both. I really.
Yeah. What have you seen different over the last year or so when it comes to mom and dad and our involvement with the church?
What I've seen is that, Dad, you stopped coming to church.
What?
What? I know.
Lies. What did you notice when I stopped, and like, what did you have any thoughts about that?
No, I didn't really have any thoughts.
No,
Not really.
it was just kind of, well, I'm going to church.
This is happening. You're like,
Yeah. It did it not? So it's just for everyone. We should have said this. Jackson is 12. He's almost 13. Mm-hmm. When I stopped going, it didn't cause you any kind of like, you didn't make you think or wonder what was going on?
no, not really.
Okay. All right.
No. And what did you know about me?
I knew that you still came to church because if you didn't go to church, if both of you didn't go to church, then we wouldn't be going to church. None
Right.
of us would probably.
That's true. Does it make you feel bad that dad doesn't come with us to church?
No,
No. Does it make you think badly of dad?
no,
No.
What? No, not at all.
You're not just
Not
saying
at
that
all.
because I'm a lot bigger than you. I can smush you if you said otherwise.
No.
Have you noticed, again, these feel like leading questions almost, but like, have you noticed any difference in how I act since I've stopped going to church, or is it about the
Not
same?
really.
Or
It's
everything
kind of
feels about the same in the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that like worries you about church?
No.
No. You just like we're just doing our thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every once in a while, the kids will. Not every once in a while, but the kids usually on the way home from church will say, "What?"
I have no idea.
They'll say, I wonder what Dad."
What Dad made for lunch. Yes, we always say that.
Oh man, I've set myself up. I've set expectations pretty high, having lunch ready for everybody when they get home.
Yeah, those nachos are they're hard to heat up.
Hey, it wasn't always nachos, but now it's like, so Jackson, let me tell you a little bit about what is going through my mind when you guys are at church.
All right.
So I actually don't love not being with you guys. I don't love it. And, life is busy, work is busy. So you would think 2 hours by myself to play my baseball game or to watch the Dodgers or eat some junk food and just relax, like that would be really nice. But I don't like it. At first I think I did, but I don't love you guys being gone and participating in this church, and hopefully you're getting good lessons out of it, and I'm just not there to participate in the same thing. So what I've had to struggle with now is this isn't the actual struggle, but I've set this expectation of, okay, I'm going to set aside about a half an hour to make lunch for everybody. But now I'm starting to kind of branch out and explore other ways that I can make sure that I'm focusing on my own well-being, whether that's going to a different church to check it out or going to the gym to make sure my body's healthy. And if I do that, then I can't make lunch for everybody, right? That's just one part of it.
So are you preemptively telling us that there will be no more lunch when we get home from church?
No, I'm not preemptively.
Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to explain to Jackson, like, he's at church every week.
Yeah.
And so what happens with me when you guys are gone? That's what happens. This past week, I went to a different church. And just to check it out. And Zara actually woke up and wanted to go with me, so she came with me. Other weeks I've gone to the gym. Other weeks I've met up with friends. A lot of different things can happen.
Jackson, you've gone with Dad to another church before, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
It was a pretty cool church.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was different about it than the church we go to every week?
Well, for one, there was rock music.
Yeah?
And that was pretty awesome.
You liked the rock music, huh?
Yes, it was pretty sick.
Would it be very different if rock music suddenly started being played in our church?
Yes.
Yeah. That would be. Okay, tell me what you like about our Sundays with our family. Okay, Jackson, tell everybody what you're into right now.
Skateboarding.
Like big time, right?
Like big time, 100%.
You know, they just opened a skateboarding church. I'm just kidding. You would want to go to that, right?
I knew skateboarding was
Jackson, skateboarding is on Jackson's brain a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, like, what are things that you do like to do with us on Sunday? Like, what do we do together?
We'll have people over for dinner, and we'll have, like, our family. I like hanging out with them, and with you guys, sometimes we'll do, like, game days. Mm-hmm. Those are fun. It's fun to play games and eat. Even if someone doesn't come over for dinner, just eating as a family and talking.
I like all those things. Is there anything else that we do on a Sunday? I know it's been, like, bad weather, but
Yeah.
remember last year we did a lot of hikes.
Oh, yeah, the hikes. The hikes were really fun.
The hikes were fun on a Sunday, huh?
Yeah.
Went four-wheeling with some friends at one time.
Oh, that was so awesome.
That was really fun, too.
Yeah, anyone wants to invite us four-wheeling, we'll be there. Just kidding. Anyway, so, like, Jackson, does it really feel like anything is different
No.
with Dad not going to church?
No, not really.
No.
We've talked to a few couples that they've had kids when they told their kids that, hey, mom's not going to go to church anymore, or dad doesn't believe the same way he used to. It was really, really hard for their kids. And some of the kids even younger than you. Some 7,
made 'em
8,
sad.
9-year-olds, made them really sad. I don't know. Can you think of, like, why do you think that would be hard for somebody and it's not hard for you? Like, what do you think is the cause of that? You can have take a second to think. I can edit out any thinking.
Yeah. This is a hard question.
Yeah.
It's a serious, big, tough one.
No, not really.
Is that just because you don't really care about anything? Nothing really bugs you?
Nothing really bugs me, yeah.
Unless we're keeping you from skateboarding.
Yeah.
I think people, a lot of times, certain people just have a hard time with change. It's, is there any point in the last year or two that has made you concerned that Mom and I weren't happy with each other or we're in a bad place?
No.
Well, we hit it pretty well. Just kidding.
When you observe me and Dad, like, what do you see between us? I don't know. Just how do you view our relationship? Like, how do you view me and Dad?
I still think your relationship is really healthy, and you guys don't really have any problems between each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because you guys are married and you love each other.
How do you know that we love each other? That
You
show.
say I love you.
Yeah, we do. We do. What do we do? What things do you see us do? I know this isn't something you like to think about, your parents and how much they love each other. But what things do you see us do that you can tell we do love each other?
I don't know. You hug a lot and you kiss a lot.
That is part of it for sure.
Yes.
That is for sure.
Have you ever felt worried that me and Dad wouldn't be together?
No.
No. That's never been a concern.
No, not, well, if I actually really thought about it, then, yeah, it would be. Like,
It would be a concern, but
Like-
you've
like-
never felt that way?
if you guys were actually thinking about it, then it would be a big concern to me.
Right. But you've never felt that
I've never felt that you do that.
Okay. All right. That's good to
Neither
know.
have we.
Yeah.
What are some signs? How do you know that Mom and Dad really love you?
For one, care about how my grades are.
Yeah, we do push you to work hard in school.
Yes. Also, you take us on a lot of vacations,
That's true.
like our California trip, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Dang, that was 2 months ago.
Yeah,
That feels like yesterday. That's crazy.
yeah.
Time flies. You say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of times love is expressed in a family just with consistent delivery. And what I mean by that is consistently every single day there's going to be food on the table. There's going to be clean clothes in your drawers. There's going to be consistency.
Except for this week, because our washer is broken.
did go out. That's right.
Oh, dang it.
I go to work every single day for our family, and that shows commitment and love to the family. But you're right, we do say it, and those are what you said. Those are good signs. We do want to have a good time with you on vacation. We do care about your grades, and that's why we push you. We don't want to torture you. We just want to push you to do well. Have you noticed any behavioral changes? Any dad doing anything different over the last year or so
No.
that maybe doesn't line up with what you're used to seeing being said is okay at church?
Not
Can I give you a hint?
sure.
Sometimes does Dad drink coffee?
I drink coffee. Sometimes.
You drink coffee?
Sometimes.
Where do you get coffee?
Well, you get the
Well,
decaf
I haven't
at
drunk
7-Eleven.
it for a long time. But you just get a decaf and pour in like 5 coffee creamers and it tastes delicious.
Oh my gosh, guys!
Oh, 5 good. So,
Not
Jax,
5.
oh my gosh. And,
You might as well just drink the cream. I mean, just drink it.
oh, that's so funny.
But you've noticed that Dad sometimes drinks coffee. Does that make him a bad person?
No.
No.
I am a bad person. That's just not what makes me a bad person, right?
Oh, Jackson.
Hey, can I tell you, this is something we haven't talked to you about. Last summer, on June 11th, what happened?
That was my birthday.
Yeah, what age did you turn?
12.
Do you remember what happened in Georgia when you were 12? After your birthday? It was a couple weeks after,
What
I think.
happened? So we went to Disney World on my birthday.
Think about the church. What happened in Georgia when you turned 12?
And Nana and Grandpa came
Nana and
out.
Grandpa even came out to see it.
Oh. So I got the priesthood because I was 12 and I was going to be a deacon. Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
How have you liked that?
Yeah. It's fun having the opportunity to like pass the sacrament and
What's cool about Jackson is Jackson like comes home and because he connects really well to the older people in our neighborhood.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
You like doing shut-ins?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackson like really loves seeing them, and then it's cute because at church you'll go say hi to them, huh? If you see him at church.
Sure.
So that day, back, I think it was June 26th or something, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
That was the day we left.
Oh, so maybe it wasn't that day. Well, that day that you received the priesthood, that was a really hard day for me. That was actually quite difficult. Why do you think that would be difficult for me?
I have no idea.
No?
Do you remember who gave you the...
Oh, it was Jason.
Yeah.
Uncle Jason.
Uncle Jason.
Happened to be the bishop of that ward. Did you ever think, why isn't my dad doing this?
Oh yeah, I did think that.
You did?
Yeah.
Really? Tell me about that.
Well, I just thought why isn't why can't my dad do it? But I never really said it out loud, so I just went with it.
Okay. Did that bother you, or were you thinking about it much? Or was it just kind of like, oh,
No.
interesting.
It was just there.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a hard moment because usually with those priesthood ordinations, it's a father to son type of thing. And with where I was at and am at with the church, I personally didn't feel comfortable doing that. And so talking to mom, and this is all behind the scenes that you didn't see this, right? But talking to mom about it, like, what do we do? How do we go about this? We don't want it to be hard for you. We looked at kind of the calendar of things and saw that you were going to be turning 12 when we were in Georgia. So why don't we just do it there? And my brother, your uncle, is the bishop. So that makes perfect sense to have him do it. And it looks like that was a good plan because it wasn't a big, hard thing for you, even though thanks for telling us that you did think about it.
Yeah.
But we're glad it wasn't difficult. What do you think? Do you think that, and I know this is kind of all over the place, but it's fine. We didn't plan this, and it's kind of fun. We're now like, oh my gosh, we can ask all these questions. What do you think about me and what I want for you as far as, do I want you to go to church? Do I want you not to go to church? Like, what do I want for you?
I have no idea. I cannot read.
Does it matter? Does it matter what Dad wants from you? For you, either way. I mean, do you feel like you want to know what Dad wants you to do, or do you feel like it's your choice?
I don't know.
Well, okay, let's ask it this way: what would you hope that I would want?
I don't really care, to be completely honest with you. I don't
Okay.
really care.
Jackson's an easygoing kid.
You are very easygoing.
Yeah.
You're very easygoing. Can I tell you what I want for you?
Yeah, sure.
And then I'd love to hear Mom too, and hopefully what I say equals what you would want for
We'll
him too.
see.
We'll see. I want you to follow what you feel is best for you. I want you to try hard, and whatever you decide to do, to just always do your best, whether that's at school, whether that's with skateboarding. I'm a big fan of you skateboarding, as long as you balance yourself a little, not balance physically on the board.
No,
but,
both.
But you think about something other than skateboarding. But I also want you to do your best spiritually. In my opinion, that's up for you to define. It's up for me and Mom to tell you our experiences. We can tell you what we feel and what we believe when you have questions about those things. But ultimately, neither of us is going to be disappointed if you're doing your best to be a good person and you decide, I'm going to do this in order to be the best person that I can and treat people the best that I can. And what I feel is spiritually right, this is how I'm going to do that.
Jackson, are you pretty happy? I mean, are you happy with what your life is like right now?
Oh, heck yes. My life is great.
Your life
Why is that?
great.
Don't just lie to us because there's a microphone in front of us. Why is your life so great?
Because I have a house. Well, I don't have. It's your guys' house. But we have a house, and our neighborhood's really great. And Mom and Dad, they're always able to tell us that. They always say, like, it's time for dinner or something. Like, it means that we have food. I
Yeah.
don't want to, like, starve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're eating a lot of food now.
Yes, I am. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, you're always eating. Any other reason why you're happy?
Shit, a lot of reasons why, but, like, I think I found, like, one of my favorite hobbies is skateboarding.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things to do, and that satisfies me. And, yeah, and also that we have a lot of clothes. Yeah.
In fact, we should give some of those away.
Yeah.
You
No,
wear
I'm
the same-
serious.
You wear the same
You wear
shirt
this-
every day
yeah.
anyway.
It's called the
wear the shirt
capsule
every day.
wardrobe, Jackson. Jackson, thank you for being on the program.
You are very welcome.
I'm so glad. This wasn't awkward, was it?
No.
No. But I want to say, like, do you understand that if you ever have any questions, that you could be really open and honest and talk to us about them?
Mm-hmm.
And not just about the church or religious stuff, about anything. I know you're learning about sex education right now.
Yep.
You learned about the female reproduction system. I think Mom knows quite a bit about that. So if you have any questions
Yeah.
for Mom,
And you're good. You come home and tell us, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackson's really, even when he does something bad or he gets in trouble, he always tells us. That's one thing that I love about you, is that you are very honest and with
I was
us.
the same way with my mom, and it's a blessing and a curse because she was very happy that I would tell her, and then she would like, "What are you doing?"
One time when Jackson told me that he had a girlfriend, inside I was like, oh my gosh, don't freak out, don't freak out, don't freak out. Because if I ever showed that I was freaking out, then he wouldn't
talk to
tell
you
me.
anymore.
And anyway, and it was a good thing, huh? But sometimes I think when Jackson tells me stuff, I'm like, oh, don't freak out, don't freak out, don't freak out.
Yeah, you've told me that before.
Yeah, I have.
So yeah, you're always welcome to ask us any questions. Well, we are happy to have you here, and all the listeners out there, out in podcast land. If you have any questions for Jackson specifically, you can email us at marriageonatightrope@gmail.com. So yeah, if you want to ask Jackson any questions, feel free to send it, and you can be our first guest that's on the podcast twice. We'll
Yes.
save that honor for you.
Maybe we should just do one interview with a kid every episode.
Hey, that would be
Just
an
do a
easy 4
different-
episodes.
That would be an easy 4 episodes.
The one with Zach, our 5-year-old, would be pretty funny, I hear.
Oh.
I feel rather.
He's a funny kid.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Jackson.
Thank you,
You
Jackson.
are very welcome.
Can you go upstairs and make sure your brothers and sisters aren't dead?
Yes, I
All
will
right.
do that.
Thank you very much.
We're just gonna wrap up and then dude, you did awesome.
Good job, man. Thank you.
Was that fun?
Yeah.
It was fun, huh?
Cool.
Okay.
If you ever want to start a podcast about anything, just let me know and I can hook you
Skateboarding.
up. All right. Close that door, bud. Thanks.
You shut it. Oh, it's okay. You don't. Okay. All right. Thanks.
All right. Jackson's now gone.
Yeah, that was fun. That was just off the cuff. And now that when we were like sitting there talking and asking questions, I started to think about Mother's Day is this weekend.
Oh, shoot.
It's this Sunday.
That's right.
Guys, don't worry. Alan has it all covered. Here's our side note. We put an offer on a house along with six other people in like one day.
We're moving to Nauvoo.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be a mixed bag?
That'd be fun.
It would not. I wouldn't say fun. I wouldn't use that word. No, we bought a house 2 doors down, and we've been renting out our house, and so we found out that we are going to get the house, which is awesome, except it's also very expensive. And so Alan is covered for the next probably 5 years for Mother's Day.
Yay!
He doesn't have to do anything, but. As I was sitting here thinking about Mother's Day coming up this Sunday and having our oldest son here to interview with, which is kind of cool. We don't usually get to do that one-on-one with him. We talk one-on-one, but an interview is a little bit different. I thought back to a super memorable Mother's Day. Do you remember this?
Tell me, I've done so well in the years past. I don't know which year you're talking about.
I guess, the ones that are really good just stand out.
Yeah. Yep.
Jackson was 11 months old, 10 months old. And
I do remember
I
this.
had just found out that I was pregnant with number 2. And I mean, I was on birth control. It was not planned. And Jackson was a really hard baby when he was little. He just required a lot. I wasn't ready for another child. And so when I found out, I spent, 2 or 3 hours in the bathroom just crying because I didn't think I could handle 2 kids. Anyway, so that Mother's Day, Alan at the time was working at Costco. Mm-hmm. He was selling phones at the kiosk there.
Pushing those phones.
It was a dark time.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, and so Mother's Day, he pulls out this beautiful picture by Greg Olson, and it's a picture of Christ and a child. And it had a sweet message with his signature on the back, and it just was, it really was the best gift I've ever been given because I was having such a hard time with Jackson. Yeah. And so the picture of Christ and the child was a reminder to me of how we just need to love them. I just need to be loving to this child that's really hard. I mean, I just probably cried for a little, me. Come on, y'all listeners, you know that I just will cry at a drop of a hat. But yeah, I cried when I saw it because it was so meaningful. It is so interesting to think of that first Mother's Day, and now almost 13 years later, and we're sitting here talking to Jackson about our faith.
Yeah. In
this sort of way, and it's just kind of come full circle.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you feel that?
Yeah, it's the circle of religious life. I don't know how to put it, but that's a deep thought. I like that a lot. I remember seeing that painting, and it was right next to the cell phone kiosk. Greg Olson was sitting there one Saturday signing paintings, and I'm going to look through. It's close to Mother's Day in a couple of weeks, so I looked through and saw that one, and immediately, the boy looks like Jackson in it.
Yeah.
And Greg Olson signed the Happy Mother's Day on the back, and it's still hanging up. And it always has had one of the most prominent places on our walls.
Places
and
spaces,
I still love that. I think that's still, because I think what you said, what it represents of just love, that is something that has not changed within me at all.
If I think about Mother's Day, and especially all of you mothers out there, and those of you who are in these mixed faith marriages, I hope you can tell that by the way that we speak with our son here, that no matter what the belief changes are, he still can see how much we love him. We asked him, how do you know that we love you? And that still comes through. And so I know so many of you will worry about what your kids will say or what they'll do or how they'll feel in the future when they go on missions and their dad's not there, or they get married in the temple and their mom's not there. It could go either way, but I hope you feel and you know that loving them will be the best thing that you can do for them.
No, that's great. This has been one of my favorite spontaneous episodes that we've done. A lot of times there's a very pressing topic we want to cover, and this time it was like, well, we have time to record right now. Let's grab Jackson. And so we did it. I'm glad that it turned out the way that it did.
Yeah, I am too. And I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there who, wherever you are and whatever you do, just remember just to love those around you, your spouse and your kids, and that will come through. They'll feel that. And, you know, the other stuff aside, obviously Alan and I have been through a lot of really hard things, but it doesn't seem to have affected him.
No, it doesn't. We'll see if it's affected the other kids, because I think it would be good to have the same kind of conversation with the other kids.
And each kid's so different.
Yeah.
They respond differently. Some are, they can read the emotions. They can read the room much differently. Mm-hmm. And we have one of those too. So I'm excited to have him on next.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day. We love you. And I hope you moms get spoiled to death.
Hey, dads, don't be dummies. Spoil those moms. Thanks for listening to Marriage on a Tightrope. If you enjoyed this episode and you've enjoyed the other episodes that we've put out, we would love your support. If you can go to marriageonatightrope.org. There's a donate button about midway down the page on the right-hand side. And we'd really appreciate that support.
You can follow us on Instagram at Marriage on a Tightrope, and as well as our Facebook page.
Marriage on a Tightrope podcast. Katie, you going to join it anytime soon?
Oh, gosh, guys. I can't.
I'm telling you, the faithful spouses are complaining that the non-believing spouse is the only one represented.
I can't. I love you all.
Facebook is challenging for her because it's a time sink. We've already been through that a few times.
We've been through this. It's just not. When I feel like it's time, then I will. But for now, it's not.
That's fine. And you can also email us at marriageonatightrope@gmail.com.
We have a few weekends free coming up in June. So if you would like to go to dinner with us, I know that some of you have sent us messages before and we were crazy busy. So please send us another message again when you'll be in town, or if you're already here. We'd love to go to dinner with you and meet up.
All right. Thanks so much.